Today is Monday, and we are reading day 9 of our Advent devotional, The Professor. I believe, help my unbelief. Mark 9:24b. C.S. Lewis knew the biggest challenge of his Narnia books would be convincing readers that a fantasy land had something to teach them about Christianity. Magic wands, fauns, talking animals, and dryads, they're not biblical. But they can surprise us into seeing the gospel in a new way. When we walk into Narnia, as Rowan Williams puts it, we enter an unfamiliar world in which we could rediscover what it might mean to meet the holy without the staleness of religious preconceptions as they appear in our culture. The strange and fantastic images and characters can also compel us to pay more attention to the power and meaning of the Christian story, because our imaginations and emotions are freshly engaged. In the novel, the Pevensey children stand in for us and the ways we may experience Narnia or Christianity as readers. Lucy enters wholeheartedly. Peter and Susan struggle to believe. Edmund knows there's something there, but he's too fearful and self-absorbed to admit it or fully enter until later. The older siblings worry about Lucy and decide to talk to the professor who owns the house where they're living. What can they do about their little sister? Is she going crazy? They don't know it, and unless you've read The Magician's Nephew, you might not either. But the professor has been to Narnia himself. He gently but pointedly questions Susan and Peter about their reasons for not believing their sister. Why are they so attached to such a narrow definition of reality? Advent is a time to step into a world of imagination and wonder. It's easy to be cynical about the holidays, but if we can allow ourselves to feel some deep delight or let our imaginations run wild in the wonder or even in the silliness of the season, we might be surprised into seeing both ourselves and God's world differently. God was born among us to make what might seem ordinary or even crude to us, our bodies, poverty, a shared meal, suffering, death, into holy and transformative things. That can sound strange or crazy. So can a virgin birth, visiting angels, or magi. It can require imagination to enter into God's reality and to experience the Christmas season, not as a silly, childish distraction, but as a radical new perspective on faith and the kingdom of God. Questions for reflection. Which Pevensey child are you most like in terms of having faith in what you can't prove? Are you comfortable with this similarity, or would you prefer to emulate one of the other children? How does the season of Advent strain your sense of reason? Does it do so in a way that makes it difficult for you to fully enter into its meaning and relevance? And finally, what are some ways that the season of Advent feeds your imagination? And how does that affect your faith? We'll see you all tomorrow.